Hello. And hello. How's everyone doing today? Welcome in. Welcome in, everybody. Come one, come all, to the second greatest show on Earth. Because the first one was last night, but this is the second one. Welcome to the Space Sheriff Gav-sudan, the only show where we take a look at Space Sheriff Gavan Infinity, and then we talk about what the heck's going on up in outer space. I'm, of course, your host with the most, the mercenary with the kicks, coming to you from 2286. It's Call Sign Henshin. How's everyone doing today on this fine Sunday morning? Hope you guys are having a wonderful weekend so far. It's going to be a little chilly out there, but hey, then it gets warm again. So you're just going to have to deal with the cold for just a couple more days, unless you're in the south, in which case you lucky motherfuckers. Anyway, I hope everyone's having a great day today. And today we're getting into the nitty-gritty, as it were. We're going to be getting into Gavan today, and it looks like we've got a new Gavan coming in that is a weird way of putting Jiraiya back in. Like, I'm not going to lie to you, it's kind of a weird pull they got going on here with this. Like, they said that this was not, Project Red had nothing to do with Metal Heroes, yet you're using Metal Heroes in some way, shape, or form, which baffles me a little bit. There's mixed messaging here. Not entirely sure what the dealio is. Like, there's a bit of a, I don't know. It's just kind of this thing of like, okay, you said this was going to stand on its own, and yet you made one of the Gavans Jiraiya. What are we doing at that point? You know? Like, I feel like the messaging got lost somewhere. Pretty certain. Don't know if that's the case, but it definitely feels like the plot hath been lost somewhere. Definitely feel like we may have lost the plot just a smidge. But I mean, you know what? I'm not going to say no, because, I mean, we've seen Jiraiya make cameos in Super Sentai before. We know what his dealio is. So, but now we got to see what's the Gavan Infinity interpretation. What's exactly going to be that particular one? Like, what are you doing with the character? Is the character going to be a true hero? Is he going to be like a dark ninja who don't play well with nobody? Like, what's the dealio here? And we're about to find that out here today on the show. So I think we shouldn't waste any more time. Let's go ahead and head over to our cinemas and let us dig in to the story of itself. Here we go. Woo. A little bit of a dark room this is. Boom, there we go. All right, so here we go, folks. We're 10 episodes in. We are 10 episodes in to Space Sheriff Gavan, and I've been hearing like mixed reviews and forth. Last week, we had a guy come in and we had like a bit back and forth in regards to where one person thought the show sucked and the other one, being me, thought that the show was good, but we could see the validity in each other's arguments. There are some places where the show needs to improve, but I feel like I sense what they're overall trying to go for in the show. So I feel like, you know, trust the process, maybe? We'll see. But we're 10 episodes in, and we're only until now coming to some semblance of lore. So to see where that goes from here, we're going to have to tune in to find out, which we're going to do right now. And hopefully, with this new Gavan, hopefully we get some new lore. We get some new information as to what the heck's going on around here. So let's not waste any more time. This is Space Sheriff Gavan, Episode 10. Space Ninja. Ninja Gavan. Here we go. Project Reto. Dimensional movement. Hold on. Okay, they're cutting back. Okay, so they're saying. Whoa! There's our guy.
次元渡りって言ったよね。インフィニティ以外にもいたんです。次元超越者。
So Ninja Gavan can just dimension hop at will. That's crazy to think about. He can just do that. And like, fuck your technology, ninja style. Just fuck that. Just fuck your spaceships, ninja style, dimension crossing.
すなわちギャバンインフィニティの管轄となる通称アルファ地球。この日、銀河連邦警察地球支部にて新たな強化ユニットがロールアウトした。
A new reinforcement unit.
よろしく頼む。
ドラゴ。
地球支部で独自開発されたコスモギャバリオンの強化ユニット。ドルネードユニットだ。
ドルナド。
ドラゴンか。今までとコンセプトが全然違う。
Now see, that's closer to OG Gavan. That's closer to OG Gavan.
お、いいこと言うね、大佐。
ユニット完成に伴い、同型の強化装備も用意された。
Damn, look at that gun.
うわ、ワニパット。めんどくさいのが来た。
資料か。ここはお前たちの来るところではない。
さあ、帰った帰った。こうパーン。
おや。では私もお邪魔だったかな。
これ様。
最新装備のギャバリオンドルネートだ。持ってみたまえ。
いいんじゃありますか。ありがとうございます。どうだいワニブチ君。
お似合いです。
God damn it, these fucking goofballs.
ミュージシャンスタイルですね。モデルスタイルですね。
God, the cheese is real.
和むな。
はい。見てるこっちが幸せになります。
There's a reason we keep him around.
いいね。
いいよね。
いや、すごくいいです。
本当？
はい。
愉快だは当面君に預けておく。
今。
When are you gonna use him? That's the
そ
question.
のつもりだったよ。
And he just leaves. Like, no comment.
ギャバンインフィニティが未だ訪れたことのない宇宙にある多元地球ゼータ2066。
Zeta, huh?
ここの銀河連邦警察地球支部には情報機関政官諜報部が設けられている。
Derleth. Holy crap, this guy's a badass. He's got a scar. Holy shit. Nice keyboard. That scar's fresh, though.
我らの1号地球にてエモルギアなる未知のエネルギー体が引き起こす事件が後を絶たない。その出所を探り、さらにエモルギアを拡散させる敵の壊滅がお前の任務だ。ライアー、お前はいつも完璧だが、
There's our guy!
なぜドアから入ることを覚えてくれないのか。
開ける手間が不愉快。
壁抜けの方が手間だと思うがね。守備はどうだった？
司令官の見込み違い。8号地球は白。
8号地球が白ならば他の当ては
ある。読み解いた。
Are you a robot?
次元の足跡の続く先は63号地球。
向かえ。1号地球を守るため。
直ちに
Earth 63.
影なし。さらに壁抜け。
You can just do that.
ドアを開けるのがそんなに嫌か。
The door was right there. Why? Is he a robot? He's making robot noises. Who's this fucker? I don't like your face. So now we're from Alpha Earth to Zeta Earth.
次元渡り
Whoa! He can just do that. That's crazy. Bushido on a roll. There's our guy. Oh, let's go. You get don't freaking shake the sword away from him. He's just gonna put it back at you. Gavan dynamic. Why doesn't he call it that, man? That's some bullshit. They don't call it that.
よからぬ曇り刀よそれがしに何を告げるいずれの地球に影が差すのか
Takes a lot out of him. Like, the suits don't make that noise.
63号地球潜入次元の足跡追跡キーグここは敵地君の恐れは我が知るべ補足風波流影なし
That's fucking amazing.
カレル様はどこに行かれたのだ？
お前らが遊んでる間に上に戻ってよ
しかしわからんな、ワニブチ君。
はい。どうしてカレル様が資料家と一緒にいたのか。
うん。省内じゃ資料家はカレル様肝入りとも言われてるが。
そんなのただの噂だよ。あ、久しぶりにみんなでカツ丼行かないかい？
カツ丼いいね。好き行こう。
昔から大輔君の下は信用でき
So we're supposed to believe the robot can eat food?
よし行こうぜ。
楽しみだな。行きましょう。
じゃあ誰のおごり？
おごりですか？
うん、じゃあじゃんけんする？
じゃんけん。
ここにいた次元の足跡
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
ギャバ我々の次元に揺らぎが生まれた注意してくれ
美味しいとことはどんな店なんだ？
ワニブチ君、それは言ってのお楽しみだよ。
課長おすすめのお店予約入れておきます。
アギちゃん仕事が早い。
おいおい。
早い早い。
レイジどうした？
あ？
いや、なんでもねえよ。
Wait, what?
どうした
正体不明。敵の姿が見えません。
パトロン様、ご注意ください。
警官を襲う輩は誰だ？
アギちゃん見えないの。
そういう風に作られていません。
ごめん、今度バージョンアップする。
Guess it never came up!
レイジ
君だ次元の足跡
何の話だ？
Oh, he can see him conveniently.
このエモルギーこそ足跡の正体
なんだ？エモーショナルバス。
エモルギアハズーイ 擬態や変装を解除し正体を暴くことができる。
やつはギャバンなのか。何者だ。
I'm trying to think, was he in the first scene of the show? I don't recall.
エモルギアを使う者。次元を渡りエモルギアを広める悪。俺が悪だ。ポペット様に笑われんぞ。見苦しい。伝わってくるぞ君の恐怖。レジ。
I'm sorry, you trying to shoot the ninja?
つまんなか。よし。つまんな。エモーショナルバース。
Just laziness. Just emotional laziness.
エモルギア、つまんな。相手を眠らせることができる。この場合、敵が使うエモルギアを眠らせたのだ。
Damn, cool collected, man.
使うのか君。五条の断り。
何？
大昔の忍者が使う言葉だ。喜怒哀楽。さらに恐れを加えて5つ。人の感情。
Oh, I get it. Oh, he just threw it out there.
言ってみりゃエモルギア使いってことじゃねえか。お前なんだな。次元の揺らぎを起こしたのは。
Pin.
この男がギャバンだとしても別の次元から来たならなぜ無事でいられるんだ。
もしかしてレイジ君と同じ体質なのでは。
次元超越じゃ。容疑者が増えたってことか。
なんだ、何の話だ。
いろいろ聞かなきゃならねえことがあるな。理解不要。
Understanding is not needed.
俺のやり方。敵と交わるは恥。
I'm getting decade vibes off him. I don't know why. Charge! They'd never seen him and shit? You knew he was Gavan! What the fuck?
ギャバン。我が敵はギャバンか。敵を撲滅するな。ボスは次元あたりをもう一人欲しておられる。方法は任せるゆえ、司令官に気取られぬよう連れてこい。
The fuck?
もう何も失いたくないならば従え。
The fuck? Are you higher up than the old guy who was speaking to?
おっと。起きろ。ヒーグ、チャージ。
Got his finger like right on the hole there. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
到着。ヒーグ、アクティベート。
So, does the cheat, is that legit or is this fucker just lying to him?
では、乗着プロセスをもう一度見てみよう。 着コマンドを受けて臨界点を超えたエモルギーがトリガー内に
I love when they do this.
ガバリオン粒子と融合
It never gets old, man.
わずか1ミリ秒でコンバットスーツで投射成功され乗着を完了するのだ。
So I'm guessing. Wait. So have they established that Reiji is the only one in his dimension that can hop? Because clearly no one else can. But he can for some reason. But I don't think they established if anyone else did. We're gonna mute that because insert music. But there's a lot to take in there. Like, ultimately, like, there's only supposed to be so. Okay, they're kind of like, let's. Okay, you guys are, you're not stopping anything. I don't know why you're running in there. Steering. Oh, he's commandeering it. Dude, come on, don't do that. That's theirs. Don't fucking hijack the dragon. Oh yeah, no, I'd never make fun of an officer. I just blow them to smithereens. Wait, what? Was he counting on that? Hang on!
ギャバンインフィニティ、君は我が地球に来る運命。だから決めつけんな。
Come on! I'm not gonna lie, this is done really well. Like, the plot is starting to thicken like you have no idea.
今は好きにやらせてもらうぞ、カレル。何をするつもりだ。
Doril! Oh shit! Nice! Respectron! KI! Killer Instinct!
デスギャバンは真空空間を自分で開いた。だったら俺が開くのは。ディジャップ！
What is he planning on doing? We must travel through space and time for this epic battle! Nope. Wait, what? Oh, damn. Don't fling him! Thought you needed him! Oh, never mind! Woohoo!
こいつはボッシュ。 一石潰さないとお前には迫れなかった。
Damn! Could I hit him with a kunai? Oh, extendo arm! You can't stop our boy?
銀河連邦警察地球支部青函諜報部所属宇宙刑事
Gavan Raya. Okay, that was exciting. I'm not gonna lie to you. That entire exchange was fucking awesome. I'm like, oh, this is where the budget went. Like, ultimately, like, it's crazy to think that, like, that's where you're putting all of your marbles in on the combat with the mechs and everything. And I'm like, yeah, no, I can see where all the effort's going. Like, yeah, that is fucking solid. That is so good. Like, and now, like, overall, like, the way that entire thing went, that was, like, kind of cool. But now we're, like, establishing the fact that there are Gavans that can travel through dimensions on top of infinity, which is an interesting little wrinkle because I don't think they really touched on that before. Like, they never really, like, acknowledged that there were others. We were just led to believe that infinity was the only one.
謎の宇宙刑事ライアはアルファ地球の銀河連邦警察に連行された。そして
やっぱり我々の知らないところで何か起こってますよ、パトラン様。
Uh-oh, they're wising up. They're wising up.
決めたよ、ワニブチ君。ドキ君にばかり任せてはいられない。俺は宇宙刑事ギャバンになる。
That's not gonna work!
区内が抱く深い恐れ、その背後に潜む銀河結社売薬部の影、己の運命を背負いしギャバンライダー、任を結ぶ。次回、超宇宙刑事ギャバンインフィニティ、次元念頭帳、ギャバンライダー、恐れを力に変えるもの。
Not gonna lie, that's really well done. That was a weird. Why did you end it on that kind of cliffhanger? You can't become Gavan, you fuck. You're a comedy character. That's not how this shit works. That ain't how this shit works at all. But yeah, let's take a moment here. Let's take a moment here. So, if we're to believe it like that, pretty much they're starting to suspect. I don't know why it's like Patlan is like really into, like, he doesn't like the fact that Reiji is Gavan. I don't know why, that's like a fact that they established, that like he thinks he's an embarrassment. Now he's saying he wants to take up the mantle, but you can't make a call like that so easily because that was something that Reiji earned. So it's baffling to me that they would try to make a comedy character make that statement as your cliffhanger when it has nothing to do with what's going to happen in the next episode, which I find is baffling. But it's clear that Gavan Rhea like needed a dimension hopper. Now, whether it came from actually the Colonel or this fucker, this suspicious looking motherfucker who's trying to like imply something, which leads me to believe that there might be I don't want to say Yakuza, but there might be a mob of sorts that might have some control over Gavan. Clearly he has some sort of fear that he's weaponizing because he is Like, his whole thing with his Emor gear is that it's fear. So clearly someone is weaponizing a fear against him that he's using to power Keeg, right? Because the Emor gears respond to extreme emotion. So there has to be a fear in Raya's heart that allows him to become Gavan Raja, no? So clearly he's had something taken from him. He's had something taken from him, and they fears that more will be taken from him. So that begs the question, what was taken from him? Right? The preview doesn't give us much to go off of. But clearly something was taken from him. Things are being taken. Was his family being taken from him? Is it the scrolls of the aforementioned next episode? Is that it? What is being taken from Gavan Reja that is inflicting the fear? Because clearly it benefits him to be fearful. Clearly it benefits him to be fearful. But the question is, why? Why is it also being used as a weapon against him? He's clearly doing it for a reason. But as far as we know, really nothing came of it, right? Like, his reasoning is not brought him at all. They just brought him in. They gave us some sort of vague understanding of what he's about, of like what his mission is, sent him to Earth, gave us that amazing sequence. Just gave us that whole amazing sequence. And then end it with him getting arrested, just revealing his name, and we barely know anything new. I'll be outright in saying it that, and I spoke to someone about this last night. Gavan is kind of treading Gozuger waters. And I'll be the first to admit that, like, the fact that we don't really stick to an ongoing plot line is kind of odd. But in a weird way, the show makes up for it with epic action sequences like that. Like, the overall just action of this show, and again, it goes back to what I said about the cinematography. The way the show is filmed, the way the fights are choreographed, the way the 3D budget is used, they just give us exciting fight pieces that, like, kind of make up for the fact that there isn't really a consistent lore. Like, there is a through line, but it's very much called on when it's needed, if that makes any sense. Because ultimately, like, how does this tie into the final battle that was prognosticated in the first episode? How does this all tie in? Right? Because at the end of the day, it all kind of feels kind of disjointed. But not in a way like Gozuger where it insults you. Right? It feels more like there's a method to the madness. Right? Like, Gozuger just threw in filler and then strangely rushed through important arcs to give us more filler. Here, the filler feels like it has a purpose, if that makes any sense. Like, it doesn't even feel that much like filler. It feels like it's going to be, and I'm being a little optimistic here, this feels like it's going to be a lot of little things that build up to something grand. You know? Like, tangentially, like, sequentially, if these things happen and they don't really make a lot of sense that they're happening. But in the long run, when we finally see it all pieced together, it will make sense. You feel me? Like, it feels like there's a method to all of this. And right now, a lot of us aren't seeing it. Right? I want to believe that there's more to this, because clearly they're bringing it in because now you have you have Luminous noticing now they're able to figure out dimensional disturbances. Bushido kind of has that in the little fog that shows up on his sword, like a fog of war. And now we have Gavan Reja, who can literally jump dimensions at will. I thought maybe he was standing on a beam that powered that. No, that's just him. That's just him. He can do that. The man can like jump dimensions at will, which is an interesting wrinkle to the whole dimensional thing. Whereas, how do I put this? That like it, because as far as we know, Reiji is the only person that can exist outside of his dimension, right? So if other people, like if Bushido or Luminous were to leave their dimension and come to another dimension, they would start dematerializing, just like it happened with the Chief. Yet we have Reija that can just do that. So clearly, either he's of the same makeup as Reiji in terms of his dimensional makeup, or there's a dimension that has figured out the tech so that people can travel between dimensions easily. Now, I don't know if that's truly the case, but I will say this. It's kind of interesting because I feel like by doing this, they kind of explain how Death Gavan is able to do it. Because remember, Gavan Destiny, aka Death Gavan, was literally the Gavan from Reiji's Earth. But somehow he came into the power of traveling through dimensions. How? That's the big question. How? Maybe the suit is keeping him alive, but like, there has to be a method to this madness. What that method is still yet to be seen, but it feels like, this is why I feel like everything is tangentially connected. Because if we could figure out how Reija is able to jump through dimensions, that might open the door for Bushido and Luminous to be able to team up with Reiji more on the regular, or it answers the question of how Death Gavan is doing it and possibly make it possible for them to track him down. Right? That's why I feel like in the grand scheme of things, every episode feels like it's self-contained, but it actually has some greater bearing on the overall story. Because there are bits and pieces here from each episode that you don't really think about in the moment, but I feel like it all adds up to something. Whether that's true or not remains to be seen, but there's definitely a feeling of there's bits and pieces here. There's layers to this. It feels like there's more to the more to what they're doing with the show that they're letting on. I don't think this rewards like investment more than it rewards the eagle-eye viewer. Like if you're like rather than like paying attention, you need to be the kind of person that looks every which way at possibilities and outcomes with what little information we have. So you look for it in little things like, for example, the teleport, right? How does he able to do that on the fly as like a ninja? How is he able to do that? Right? It's those kinds of things that get you questioning and ultimately are what get you invested if you actually pay attention. If you're looking into little bits and pieces. And when I say pay attention, I don't mean like superficially. Like if you're actively scanning to try to find something, there's inklings here and there. There's little nuggets that the show is giving you that make you question. If you're looking at it on a superficial level, you're going to think they're wasting our time. But if you dig deep in there, there's something there. So only the most eagle-eyed of viewers will get what's going on. There's definitely something to it all. What that is remains to be seen. But clearly they're not jerking us around. They're doing things to keep us invested, aka the cinematography, the action scenes, the fights, all of that. They're doing that to keep us invested. But what if subliminally there's more going on behind the scenes? There's more to what we're watching than what we're giving it credit for. Because to me, it definitely feels like they want us to start like nitpicking. They want us to start picking, like eyeing every single frame, trying to find what the overarching thread is, when it's not that simple. It's smaller puzzle pieces that when we pull back as the series goes on, as we start pulling back, it all paints a picture. It all paints a picture. And I want to believe that's where they're going, because they saw what Zetz is doing, and they're like, we can't do the exact same thing, but how can we still keep the people invested? Little puzzle pieces here and there. Not really needing to tell an overarching story, not really needing to do a lore drop, just things that once you start looking at them objectively, you start questioning if they play a role in the story overall. It's definitely, because it definitely feels like there's more to what we're watching than what we're comprehending on a surface level. What do I think that means in the long run? I couldn't honestly say. But from the bits and pieces that we're gathering, clearly there is an organization, or at the very least a main villain behind all of this. Clearly Death Gavan is operating under that particular entity. Death Gavan can openly travel through dimensions. So he got that tech from somewhere. That tech could have possibly come from the Zeta Earth, where Reja resides and also has that power. So there might be a connecting thread there. There might be. But it all hinges on how he does it. Because if he knows how to do that, then clearly somebody else figured it out. Because the odds are, if one Earth figured it out, another one would, in case Zeta figured it out. The question is, was there anywhere between Alpha and Zeta that also figured it out, that Death Gavan was able to make use of? There's like a whole theory, like branching paths here and there. The overall question is, where is it taking us? There is a thread here, but you got to really look for it. But with the information that we have right now, we still don't have enough to go on. But that's why I say it might all make sense in the bigger picture of it all. So I truly believe that the more we watch, the more things will start getting clearer. The more we watch, the more things will start making sense. And once everything starts making sense, is when we'll all look back and we're like, damn, I'm glad we watched all those episodes. Because once you look back and just take it all in, I think it'll make sense at the end. That's my thoughts. I could be way off base here. Maybe it is meant to be a mindless, episodic format. I could be wrong. But there's just something tugging at my soul that tells me there's more to this than what the show is letting on. There's definitely a depth to this. And maybe that's just me overthinking it. But in my heart of hearts, I want to believe there's more than what the show is letting on. But it will only find out with the passage of time, and we'll only find out with each and every new episode that comes our way. So on that note, that'll do it today for the Space Sheriff Gav-sudan. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for enjoying this with me. I enjoy watching Tokusatsu live with you guys, so please come on out every Saturday and Sunday for the Kamen Rider Zetsudan and the Space Sheriff Gav-sudan, and we just sit back and take a look at what Toku hath bringeth us, what it can bring us, and how it can entertain us. Because at the end of the day, whether we hate it or like it, it entertains us. Toku is our entertainment, and I think we should enjoy it more. Just enjoy it more. Just take it all in. You know? Just take to the vision, the visage, if you will. Sorry, my throat's a little raw. Just take it all in, baby. Just enjoy it. Because at the end of the day, it's all good in the Toku hood. You feel me? It's all good in the Toku hood. Right. Let's see. I want to thank you all so much for coming out. Let's see. Let's go ahead and start winding down here. All right, on Twitch, I'm going to send y'all to the Digital Vagrante, so make sure to send him the love in that cool Henshin Club way that you do. On YouTube, don't even worry about it, but on both platforms, thank you so much for tuning in today to the Space Sheriff Gav-sudan. I will see you all next week for more Toku excitement. Until then, I am Callsign Henshin, your host with the most, the mercenary with the kicks, coming to you from 2286, reminding you that the future is yours and yours alone to conquer. Conquer it by any means necessary. I will see you all next week. Until then, I love you. You're valid. Stay safe. Stay awesome. But overall, stay you. And I will see you all next time. Peace out.